Hey guys, good evening. Welcome back. I don't know. I think today may have been the Mondayest Thursday ever. I didn't sleep all that well. Woke up like 1 o'clock in the morning, wide awake, no idea why. Brain wouldn't shut off, couldn't go back to sleep. And of course that tends to just set the pace for the rest of the day. But I have to say, I think people have finally hit that point where they've been in quarantine entirely too long because everyone is losing their collective minds on Facebook. And they're really driving me up a wall. I'm sure they're driving all of you up a wall too. It got to the point today where I did my taxes so I could get a break from Facebook, all right? It's just, nitpicking over the stupidest stuff. And I love y'all, but I cannot do another of these harebrained math problems. But no, like today, I don't know if you've ever seen a bucket trap for rats, but basically you take like a 5-gallon bucket, you drill like a hole so that you can run. I've seen different versions of it. The one guy posted was like a wire, and then there was, I think it was a piece of PVC or some kind of pipe that kind of spins on the wire, and then he put peanut butter on the pipe. So the idea is, and you fill the bucket with water. So the idea is the rats come up the bucket, and usually you have like a hole drilled in the bucket, so they go through the hole to get onto the pipe to get the peanut butter. But once they hit the pipe spins and knocks them into the water below in the bucket, and they drown. And they've intrigued me. I've never built one myself. I don't know why. I probably should try it at some point because we have had problems with rats. And the snap traps don't work all that well for us. For numerous reasons, we don't want to use poison. I'm completely opposed to sticky traps. And so, basically that leaves these bucket traps. The other alternative is my husband has an airsoft pellet gun that he goes out and shoots them with, which is actually fairly effective, but it means you're out there having to shoot at them every night. So this guy posts this trap in one of the gardening groups I'm in because someone's having an issue with rats and they want to know a solution. And so he posts this bucket trap. This results in people in the group start blowing up the private messengers for the admins of the group. This is a gardening group. I don't remember if I mentioned that. Somebody else makes a separate post calling him out specifically, saying that he is promoting the killing and torturing of small animals. And then it just, I don't know, the whole thing just kind of spiraled out of control. And it's one of those things that I'm like, if this was a month ago, would anyone have even cared? But now, because everyone has nothing better to do but sit and look at Facebook all day, it's like we've become hypersensitive to these little things that now, like, every tiny little thing annoys us. It amazes me because I thought people were bad before. But, you stick people at home all day and everyone just loses their minds. So, I don't know. It's one of those things. I just want to remind folks, don't sweat the small stuff. It goes back to, we had an incident with my daughter today where she got very, very scared. And I had to kind of think about how some people react to fear. And I think the one thing that just really our society in general doesn't think about or doesn't want to acknowledge is that fear is perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong with fear. Everyone is scared. And especially when we have, something like this, everyone is scared. Now, obviously, some of us are to more degree than others. But we have to think, the vast majority of the population out there right now is afraid, okay? Whether it be of, economic collapse, the virus, food shortages, whatever, there's something that everyone is worried about right now. And that makes everyone very tense. And don't get mad at people for being afraid. Because, I mean, like I said, you take a step back and you have to acknowledge that you're afraid of something too. Whether, you probably express it differently than other people, but that's just, that's what makes us human. And so we have to kind of, be a little bit aware of that. Try to show people some grace, and you realize that a lot of the reason they're acting this way right now is because of that fear. But at the same time, we can't let fear rule our lives. We can't let fear stop us from taking action, all right? And so, I see a lot of folks that, because of this fear, they're taking control of their food supply. We had another person come today and pick up a goat. And so, have a lot of folks that are getting into chickens, getting into gardening, whatever, because they're realizing that we have this issue with the food supply. It's not even a food shortage, because if you've seen all of the videos and pictures and news articles and things about farmers having to throw away food, it's not a food shortage. It is a supply chain issue. However, we don't know how long this is going to go on. And because all of this food is having to be dumped, I see this having long-term impacts for a while, even once we, come out of quarantine or whatever. I mean, we could be looking at issues with supply chain and food supply for the next couple of years. So, it's a really important time to take control of your food supply and, learn more about gardening, learn more about raising animals for food, cooking from scratch, preserving, all of those types of things. So that's what I've got for tonight. I keep getting warnings that my internet connection sucks, so I'm going to wrap it up. I wanted to actually show you guys, because I mentioned that I'm having issues with caterpillars. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. These are my potatoes, and the tops have all been eaten off because we had greenhorn caterpillars. And so I need to spray with BT. The problem with BT is that, and really with most of probably all of your organic pest control, is that it washes away when it gets rained on. And so we naturally, we're getting rain for pretty much the next week. We got a lot of rain overnight and this morning, calling for more thunderstorms tomorrow, and it's supposed to continue for the next week. And so there's really not a lot of point to me spraying for caterpillars, because this is going to continue. So the best thing I can do at this point is just hand pick anything that I do find. I have my bucket of soapy water. I'm putting the pests in there. Of course, problem you run into with greenhorn caterpillars is they camouflage very, very well. And so I'm going to have to try to see if I can find any more on my plants, and then I'll probably end up throwing them to the chickens. So, but yeah, that's something you have to keep in mind, is if you are calling for rain, your best bet for controlling your pests is actually hand picking them and putting them in soapy water or disposing them in other ways. All right, that's it for tonight. You guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you later.